Welcome everyone to Loud and Proud Orlando. Thank you so much for being live with us as a surprise show. Thank you to everyone that's live. We're also live right now on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, make sure to drop your comment and the link of this stream right now. It's on the bio. It's in the bio right there. You can click on it, and we would love to hear your input. A tough loss against a rival that obviously it was playing one of the worst pitches in the MLS. I will have to say I've seen many pitches, but this one was just a really bad one. We'll discuss that. A lot of things to improve. I think the guys completely, were completely, you know, you just couldn't really believe what occurred. So we'll discuss all of that and more. Thank you so much for being live with us. My name is Luis Carlos Pineda. I'm a journalist here for Loud and Proud Orlando, and also I cover Orlando City and Orlando Pride, and also OCB, as well as Selección Peruana, Peru, Conmebol. People know me from Ladre el Fútbol also. So if you're watching, thank you so much. If you're live on Twitch, also in Ladre el Fútbol's channel, thank you so much for being live with us. Look, John should be joining shortly. The good thing about this loss is that we have time to literally regain, and now Sunday go all out against a rival that is not going to have so far Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba, and that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying right now. But it could all change. It could all change. Could all easily change in the next few hours. But so far, Lionel Messi and Jordi Alba won't be part of this Inter Miami squad against Orlando City at Explorer Stadium. Now, does that change anything for the Lions? No. The Lions need to go for the win. Every single game at home, Orlando has to win. So, to me, it's really not important that Messi's going to play or not. We got to win no matter what. So, stick around with us. We'll dive into that and more. Let's read some comments. Jim D, welcome back, Jim D. Where you been, my friend? Huh? Where you been, Jim D? Huh? On the puppy stand? Huh? Puppy in. I'm not buying the no Messi Sunday talk. If he comes after halftime, yeah, I think he comes up after halftime if we're up. I hope I stomp those losers. I think we should win no matter what. It really doesn't really make a difference. We got to win no matter what against Inter Miami. It's a direct rival. Look, Messi obviously is gonna send a lot of buzz to the league. It's part of the game, but Orlando needs to be, their mindset needs to be on winning the game as a collective unit, which they can do. Thank you to everyone that's live right now. Appreciate it for joining on Instagram. Feel free to drop us a comment. We are live right now also on Instagram. The link, it's in the bio. Thank you so much. Joshua Tall, let's bounce back Sunday and beat Inter Miami, correct. Let's go about making the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, that's the good thing that we need to talk about. It's, clinching playoffs. In what manner? Really high up in the table. When's the last time Orlando has clinched playoffs so early, number one, and number two, that high in the playoffs? This is all thanks to the squad, each individual player, plus you add Oscar Parejas' staff, you also add a great front office, and it all comes together. Now, it took time to gel. There was a little civil war going on with the fan bases. A lot of clips, man. There's so many clips of people that they run their mouths, and now they're paying their dues, and now they're saying, "Oh my God, do not! Why are you making fun of me, man? Don't make fun of me, man. We just They're doing much better because of us, because we complained, because we have high standards, because the badge. Uh-uh. People are allowed to make fun of you. And you're gonna have to take it, my friend. You're gonna have to take it. Fuck her up. You gotta put some lipstick on, you know, and take it. And it's fine. It's part of the game. We're all gonna be happy when Orlando wins, no matter what, and we're all being united as a fan base, which is the greatest feeling in the world. Be honest with you, Orlando's winning, is playing great, and we just gotta be happy about that, right? No negativity here, no negativity zone. Thank you so much for everybody that's being live right now, right? Dusky, will Messi play? According to sources, no, but I agree with Jim D right here. I agree that. And I was also told by a source down south that Messi may have some minutes. Messi may have some minutes. It depends how he feels. Here's John. What's up, my friend? Good to see you.
Hey buddy, how are you? Sorry, just having a little technical difficulty here. I'm
It's
I'm not
okay.
at home, so
Uh,
out and about.
so a game against NYCFC. Obviously, to me, this is. I'm gonna say, hi, Steph. How you? To
Yeah, I don't know how
me,
to use Apple. All right, Steph has to show me how to do this.
yeah, that's right.
I'm
That's
a
right.
I'm a PC
Yeah,
man.
you're right in the press box. I see.
Yeah, look, I've got a background. There you
They're
go.
letting you record
On my
live.
usual. Yeah, exactly. They let me.
Wow,
That's where I'm on vacation at the stadium.
wow.
Yeah.
No, but so yesterday, probably one of the worst pitches Orlando has played in a long time. Was this worse than Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, it was.
That
It
was
definitely was.
horrible.
I mean, it's like short and not wide enough, and it looked like there was no space, really, Luis, and that's what Oscar was saying as well. There was no space for us to play. Like we weren't able to play the game that we usually play because the pitch was so tight, and you could see how close the. It looked like the goalkeeper's box was massive, but it wasn't. That's a regulation size. Obviously, they can't change the size of the goalkeeper's box, but it looks huge because the pitch is so tiny. So the space between the side of the field and the sideline, what like and the goalkeeper's box was so tiny that it was really no wing play for us to be able to use. So our fullbacks were, nullified, and it just seemed very tight in the space when we were trying to maneuver and do our attacking plays or 1-2s. There just wasn't enough room to play the way that we want to play. And like Oscar said, we can't blame the pitch, but it did kind of nullify the way that we play the game. And it suits New York because they know how to play on a baseball pitch, like I said. So
Well, honestly, the way the ball was bouncing yesterday, it was just impossible to give a correct pass. We are very good at passing the ball down the mid. The turnover rate went down tremendously. That's why Orlando has been unbeaten for so long, and it was just almost impossible. Every time Dagger, Ivan will get that ball, Cesar and Wilder, the ball will do that extra bounce. We're gonna put some footage right here for the game against New York right now. Thank you to Orlando City Communications for the footage, and honestly, you can see there um, the bounce. Hold on, let me maximize that right there.
well, also
There.
the difference in the quality of the pitch where they'd covered over the baseball dirt and the actual field was, night and day.
Yeah, look at that. Like, look at that. Okay, look at that cross. Look, you see how it bounced right there.
Yeah.
Like it's in that extra bounce. Look, he's trying to carry the ball. Look, step down, look for the pass. Look at that cross, and look how it bounces out. Like that's that extra bounce, and that's
Well,
why Dagger can't even
Santos
catch
kept having to play in the dirt over in the corner there. His
exactly.
crosses all came from the dirt.
Yeah, his crosses all came from the dirt,
Yeah.
and then that ball was just. Now, don't get me wrong. Santos was having a great day, but you have to understand, New York knows how to play in that pitch, and they took advantage of that. They were defensively very sound, and they were able to definitely stop Orlando City, and they scored two on Orlando. I think the back line of Orlando again suffered a little bit. You know, and this Munsef Bakar threw a penalty kick, right? Um, that was a penalty to you. I think.
I
I
mean,
think.
it's enough. Yeah, Enrique is chasing him, and I think partly actually he's right. He was running, and right when the tackle happens on the boundary between the covered grass and the actual grass, and I think looked to me like he kind of tripped on that a little bit, and he tripped kind of on himself and hit his own leg, but so did Santi, and it just looked like a mess, and it was enough of contact for the ref to be like, well, that's a penalty, so. I mean, I think some people are wondering why Enrique was there making that challenge. Me personally, like as the striker, I know you're trying to get back and make a tackle, but um, do we really need you making tackles in the box? Not necessarily. Where was Dagger Dan? Some people were asking that on that challenge, right? He kind of got pulled out of the play a little bit, and that really what should have been his man that he was following into the box. But at the end of the day, it wasn't our game, Luis. So that was just one of the many things that happened or didn't happen. Really, I think like Oscar said, we didn't generate anything really in the game. We weren't creating. So to blame the loss on something like a penalty or not penalty, I think would be not correct. It didn't really factor into the game that much, but it did seem like a penalty to me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the reason why Dagger Dan was having so much trouble, I mean, I think everyone on the right on our right side of the field is because they had pretty much the three best players for NYCFC right on that left side. Santiago Rodriguez, playmaker, I think one of the most important players they had on the pitch that night. Andres Perea, that he looked motivated to screw Orlando now with a different color jersey, right? Now wearing an official pigeon, and then Kevin O'Toole, which was actually very good. Now, the team just did not look comfortable from minute one. It's just I mean, and again, people are saying, well, and even Oscar said it. We're not going to put excuses because of the pitch, but I mean, honestly, I mean, it was just look. I'm from South America. There and I've seen better pitches than that. Like a team that is from the City Group that owns Manchester City should not be playing in a pitch like this. Like it's crazy. Now, fantastic people as an organization treat us with a lot of respect, especially on the piece that they did to us. When I say hello to the NYCFC, but honestly, like I mean, I think the players fell a little bit off balance. Now Rodrigo had a terrible game too. I mean, and that's one thing that is we're putting a lot of our baggage on Rodrigo. Now here we come against Miami at our own turf, heavily motivated. But I feel like he was over tackling a little bit. He was falling of like that tackle trap. Do you feel that, John?
Yeah, I mean, I think he was falling into the same trap as the game before, and he was running into the wrong places and trying to get in the tackle. And I think this game was worse than it was against Columbus. It really showed that we miss AC. I think Schlegel is. I've said it many times. He's a good backup, but he's a backup, and I think this long run of games, it was inevitable we see some where he just wasn't able to make the plays. And I think with Schlegel, it's a situation where he's mistakes are very costly, especially on the goals. It seems to me that often it's his era moving in the wrong position or being offside or not marking the man. Like the second goal, it was really poor defended. I tweeted out that Petrasso doesn't close him down, and then I think it was Urso and someone else in between failed to close. Janssen failed to close down the man, and then finally it comes over into the center where Talis Magno is, and Schlegel is nowhere near him, right? So he has time to prepare and make sure that he's covering the guy in the box, the only guy in the box, and he's not there. So it's a case of sometimes he just goes missing or he makes mistakes that really cost us. And like we said before, we really like the guy. We love, he's part of the folklore of the club with everything that went on. And, Pappy put me in there. But at the end of the day, we need a center back who's reliable. And Rodrigo is just not that.
We're gonna have to get a new center back on the coming year, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I tweeted about that as well.
Yeah.
You saw, AC, and it's been out for so long. I was just interested, so I did some googling on, how many games AC has missed, and it's already, this run is another 5 games. It was 3 earlier in the season, so that's 8 so far this season that he's missed. And for your starting center back, that's just too many, Luis.
Yeah, it is. It
And yeah,
is. No, it is. Let's do some comments real quick. This is Dusky. Let's read the old comments because you weren't here, so I'm gonna read them back to you. I'm not buying the no Messi Sunday talk on Sunday talk, says Jim D. I think he comes on after the half if we're up. I hope we stump those losers. I in a way agree with Jim D. And then Dusky asks, will Messi play? Beautiful pup. Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Jim D. Etromic, Miami has a U.S. Open Cup to think about. I agree. Mike Faresi, it says Messi will not play against Orlando in the next game. Now, that's what a lot of people are saying. Now, I have conflicted sources, and I'm going to mention them. In Argentina, they're saying that the national team has spoken to Inter Miami and that Messi is not injured and that they're just going to hold him for the U.S. Open Cup final. They're going to, in the Inter side, they're saying he has a muscle fatigue. And yes, Tata Martino has ruled him out kind of publicly, but this could be, and it's known, he's done this before in Mexico. He's waiting to see how the game is doing. If Orlando is up 1-0, minute 68, you may see Lionel Messi entering minute 75 to just kind of play 15 minutes with a tired Orlando City. If Inter is comfortably winning, you're not going to see him at all. That could be it. Now, that's going to be decision. So far, everything stands on Martinez's words after the press conference in Toronto, right? Pretty much ruling out Messi and Inter and Messi and Jordi Alba, pretty much. Now, according to it says that the this is honestly, and I'm gonna say this should not happen. I mean, it's really surprising. I'm gonna bring this out, but honestly, like this is ticket prices are gonna plummet if he doesn't play, obviously, right? But this occurred when he left at minute 39 against Toronto. Right here. The fans were leaving at minute 39. Minute 39, not minute 75. Minute 39, guys. And here's another picture right here of fans leaving the stadium. That is insane, right? That's not how you start a soccer culture in a city, right, John?
Well, it's the Messi fans leaving, not the Inter Miami fans. That's the difference, right? I mean, I think people, in Inter Miami are like, hey, we've got however many millions of followers now on Instagram. It's like, no, Messi has all of these followers. You're just there by association. And I think that, anybody who follows one player, I mean, if that's your choice, I don't personally believe in it. I think you should be following a team and a club and remain loyal to that club. But that's just me, and that's how I was brought up in in the world of soccer. So I can't understand people who follow a player That's not who I am personally. So I think the whole Messi stands get what they deserve, right? Like, and if he doesn't come on Sunday and people paid a lot of money for a ticket, then like I said, there's no guarantee that you're going to see him play. You're buying a ticket to see two teams play.
And
Whether
this
who
what
plays on that team, that's not a guarantee. So the Messi fans left at the 39th minute. The Inter Miami fans, you would think the real ones, stay there till the end of the game to watch a very convincing win, right? What is it, like 4-0 in the end? So, um, they missed 3 goals. They weren't Messi goals, obviously, but they missed 3 goals leaving in the 39th minute. I think it just depends who you are, Luis, and what your agenda is. And if you're just there to watch Messi and he leaves, then you know that's who you are, and I guess you leave as well.
Now, this was my source. I want to say hello to Federico Gil. He's a journalist that covers Boca Juniors and covers the Argentine national team. This came from the federation. The word that Messi has no injury at all. It is just muscle fatigue, and he's pretty much day decision. And also, it's up to Messi. So if Messi says, "Hey, Vite, I want to play, please let me play," he's gonna suit up and play. I mean, it's pretty much on him. Now, what does the club want? The 11 men that are gonna jump to be the starters for Inter against Orlando City, club or Orlando in the first 15 minutes. So that way he doesn't have to play. Or if he does play, he leaves them in at 39, you know? But I think they're going to do something similar to Toronto, according to the sources that come from Argentina. Now, the sources from the United States cite that he's not gonna play based on ABC muscle fatigue. Now, communications, and this is another thing, and I want to say, guys, to all media, um, guys, I know a lot of you are probably coming to see Messi, and you guys live in Orlando. You probably were just coming to see Messi and cover Messi. Um, Come and see Orlando City. This is the team from your city. Come and experience it. And I'm calling out Wesh. I'm calling out like the big boys. There's some people that are pulling out because he's not playing, and I got word from that. I got an email today saying, "Hey, are you sure you're coming? We just want to make sure." And that means that there's people that are dropping out right now like flies because Messi's not playing. Guys, support Orlando City. It's the best team from Orlando in sports. Like
Well,
every other
there's
team is really subpar.
another example of that is Mike Bianchi, who is on 96.9 The Game, is a local radio station, local radio sports coverage, and they don't I don't know how much they cover us, but historically I don't think he's covered us very much.
Yeah, no, no.
And
Here and there. I saw him at the U.S. Open Cup final though.
yeah, of course, yeah, because that was big enough for him to come
Yeah.
out. And so he was posting about how that they're going to be giving away tickets to go see Messi at our Exploria Stadium. And a lot of people were not so happy about an Orlando-based, radio personality talking about, going to see Messi when he comes into town, as opposed to, ever
Mhm.
promoting us or talking about the actual team that's in town. You just see where people's loyalties are, Luis. I think that's what it is, right? I mean,
That's true.
they roll out the red carpet for the media that they think they're going to get on Sunday, and then half of them back out because Messi's not going to be there, and they just came to see him. I mean, I understand, but it's a bit of a circus, right? We've talked about this before, and I think that's the thing for Sunday. We have to remember there's going to be some other thing that happens, some other chaotic event. I can just
Correct.
foresee it now. It's going to be Messi or no Messi. This Miami game, will he play? Won't he play? There's going to be so much drama around it anyway between the two clubs. I just think we're due for a very chaotic sort of something, whether it's the ref or whether it's the fans or whether it's Messi. I don't know, but I predict a crazy Sunday game.
It's gonna be a crazy Sunday game, a game that Orlando has to win. Has to win because we have aspirations. We are the Kings of Florida. Even though we went through a rough start, trying to get that starting 11 going, now we can certainly say we are the Kings of Florida. We are the soccer city in Florida. We truly are. I mean, a lot of our fans are very, very educated in the sport. You go down south, they only know about Messi. Like here, there's a culture has been brewing since 2010. So it's a long time now, for especially the people that have been since the very beginning, like kind of like John, and and honestly, like it's something to be proud of. One thing that I will have to add is one thing that we cannot do is definitely be sloppy defending, which is what happened yesterday. Yesterday was just a bad game all around by the back line of Orlando City.
And maybe, Luis, that
Um,
was a good thing to
yeah,
get,
in a
because
way.
we're kind of like we've been on a hot streak. At some point, we're due to slip up, right? And this was kind of maybe a bogey game for us, and it ended up being that way. But whether it was the pitch or we just couldn't seem to get going, I thought there was so many fouls. Like the game had no flow. It was just stop, start, stop, start. I think that's what New York won. I think that suits into their hands. But we just weren't able to ever really get going. I felt, Louis,
Yeah.
like we weren't able to create like we do at home. So at home against Miami, it should be a different story.
Also, I feel like the second half adjustments that Oscar put in were very attacking minded, and so it kind of in a way made us go on the all out attack on that pitch that the ball really doesn't roll the way it should be, and then it was really hard for them to run back into their position and defend. Like for example, Luca had a tough time, in my opinion. I mean, even though Rafael might have made like 30 million crosses and zero chances, like at least he was threading back and trying to go in and defend on the 1v1. Unfortunately, Luca was going forward and then forgot to come back, and I think that
Yeah,
that's something that really Ojeda as well. Like he wasn't really marking anybody.
I think that could be Oscar's instructions, though, right? He might have said to Luca, like, we're 1-0 down, just throw everything at it, trying to get us a goal. If we go two down, then whatever, I mean, at a certain point, he might have been going for that. It depends. I think leaving Mauricio on the field was an interesting one yesterday and putting him deeper. Like it almost we went to like Mauricio in the 8 role. Um, I think he had a really bad game yesterday. I think he missed a lot of passes. I know that could have been partly the pitch. I just think also he was not connecting. They were closing him down. He wasn't able to turn and give a pass. Everything he tried to do just ended up in him giving the ball back to New York. And when that's happening, I think Oscar should just take him off the field. So it was strange to me that he left him on. I don't think Wilder was having a good game. So I'm fine that Wilder came out, but I thought maybe it was a time to bring Junior Urso on or
Yeah,
Felipe.
I agree.
Like I don't think Mauricio can, like, we can't have a midfield
Because it
like we
was a lot
did
of
for the last 20
turnovers.
minutes. We can't. It was
Yeah, it
just
was.
Cesar in front of the back four with Mauricio next to him. That's not
Yeah,
enough. It's not enough
that,
protection. And I understand that we're going for the win, but when we weren't playing well, it just exposed us more, in my opinion.
and then I'm gonna say on that penalty, obviously penalty save that Pedro had, fantastic. It really upset me, and I look, I'm not upset at the player. I'm just at the situation, guys. I just want to make sure to phrase that correctly. Yeah, a little bit upset me that this guy, this was it Munsev Bakar, literally wins Rodrigo. What, like literally, he didn't even run. Like like he's just stand there looking. Oh, he's going in front of me, and he just stays there, and literally he's just there to just head it in. And obviously, after that monster save, I was just like, come on, man. Give me a little bit of defending. I don't know if he was afraid that maybe his foot was gonna get stuck on that field and he was gonna get injured, or I don't know what it was. But I mean, I can't believe that striker, that guy Bakar, was able to literally like win him, win a Rodrigo just without a lot of speed. It wasn't
I've
like it
also
was like a
thought
fast player.
for a long time, Rodrigo is not the biggest and strongest center back, is he? Like he's not your traditional big, tall center back. Like he's got a great pass on him. He can make a tackle, but I think there are some aspects that he lacks that Jensen, has really, and often he gets muscled off the ball by strikers that you would say are smaller or not as big as him, or he's just completely not where he should be defending, right? Like on the
Mm.
second goal that we talked about with Talis Magno, and Talis Magno is not much of a nine, so
No, he's
if he's going to go up against like Farias on Sunday, right? Like a guy who's looking a lot hotter, and is more of a number nine than this guy is.
Talisman.
Bakra. I can't say
Bakar,
his name.
Bakar.
Yeah, or Talix Magno
Yeah.
either. Yeah.
Yeah, I
New York
mean, the
City don't
way.
really have a nine. They kind of do. Bakra was their solution. But for a long time they've been riding without one.
So Gaston Gonzalez, good news for Orlando, made his return to the pitch. He looked very not used to playing for a
Was
long
he
time.
playing striker kind of? Was it like a
Yeah, it
striker
was
with Duncan at one point? Is that what I
yeah,
saw?
yeah. I mean, there was really no. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I didn't. I
I
mean,
was struggling to see what the
Orlando
game
had no
plan with
attack.
the subs was. I didn't know
Yeah.
what Oscar was trying to do with the subs
Yeah,
personally.
so Oscar made two changes to his starting lineup since the last match against Columbus. Obviously, Wilder and Facundo came back, but obviously Gaston Gonzalez made an appearance in the 80th minute. That's great to see him back for sure. I mean, it was definitely he's gonna have to show up, right? And on the team's performance, I think Oscar said this in the post press conference, which you could see the footage on our YouTube. I don't think we had the spark today. I think we were a little more predictable. I thought we had more problems today dealing with the spaces, trying to put ourselves into the feel of the game. We have to be able to do it, but we couldn't. Sometimes we thought during the week that the field will facilitate our movements because we have tendencies to approach short spaces to move the ball quick. You see that quick passes. They couldn't make not even three passes in that pitch.
But you
Um,
need the space to spread out to
exactly,
then make the passes. If you're already on
exactly.
top of each other, it doesn't work.
Right. But again, New York City neutralized those things and condensed this even more with many more numbers behind. We try to do the same, but we're not effective because they created options that look dangerous. We look dangerous in a few, but not many. It is one of those days. It just wasn't our day. We will recover and try to get our energy for the next match that we need. So,
Yeah, I thought
um,
New York did a very good job of closing down Faku and Angulo and all of our attacking mids. Like as soon as we got the ball, they were on us and they weren't able to turn. And like partly because of the lack of space, but also New York City were dropping James Sands back into like because he can play center back as well. They were kind of using him as a third center back at times, so they would have like three center backs in there and two wing backs, and all of our attackers it just looks so crowded. I don't think there was enough room to play the way we wanted to play.
Jim D, I think Rodrigo has a little bit more trouble with DDT back there as opposed to being with a more
Yeah.
defensive minded Smith.
It's
Um,
interesting to me that Oscar allows Dagerdan and Santos to go forward as much. Arguably, I think we were more like we were better when we had
I have a feeling that
Kyle Smith
because
who didn't go forward. So one of the fullbacks wasn't flying forward.
it's just trusting the lineup that it's been working the past few. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he thought maybe like he said it on his quote, the pitch conditions were going to actually help Orlando more than deter Orlando's chances. And New York knew probably that that's what Orlando was going to do, the short passing. So, like you said, they put two men to mark Mauricio. Every time Mauricio would touch the ball, two men would come to him. Same with Facu.
Yeah.
So that made it difficult to kind of play the ball around
And
and for
we
Orlando
have to
to
have
find his
enough,
grind.
Luis, to figure that out
Right.
and change the plan then, right? Like if we're going to play a lot of teams that do that. We do that to other teams
Mm-hmm.
as well with Cesar and Wilder, right? So we have to be able to be smart enough to say, okay, we can't play out from these guys because they're just getting closed down, and so they're not able to be our creative outlets. And that's when we need other people to step up, like Angulo and Enrique, who aren't being double
Also,
marked.
also Wilder could
Wilder,
have.
right? Like or
Wilder,
Cesar.
yeah, Wilder could have gone to Cesar. Hey,
Yeah.
let me go and mark Sands when he has the ball. and then I'll pass it to you. You know what I mean? It was just I felt like they were very off at that game
Yeah.
in
I
communication wise. It's
it was an
okay. I
off
mean,
game all around, Luis. It was an
yeah,
off game. And that there's gonna happen, right? Like,
yeah. It's gonna
the
happen. I'm
four
not
nil
Papi out yet.
the 4-0 loss away at RSL, right, is another game where it's like doesn't matter what we did that game, we
I'm
just
not.
didn't get going.
I'm not Papi out, guys. I'm not. I'm still a believer, guys. Etromic. If I rock the kick childhood cancer warm up in the supporters section, are they gonna toss me out? No. If it has
Well,
an Orlando City crest,
they shouldn't. Yeah.
yeah, they have an Orlando City crest. You're good, my friend. Mike Farisi, I went to the game against the Columbus Crew, and that was hands down a great game. That was one of the best games in a long time, Mike, um, because of how he came about. They should not score three in Orlando, but hey, a comeback, I'll take it all day. No Messi Sunday. Orlando should win, says Mike. I agree with you, but I don't think, and I don't know if John's going to agree with me. I think Messi, if you have to look at this objectively, he has made some of the players around him really good. And they still have some dangerous players. And maybe at the time when Messi wasn't around, they were kind of like, like little sad puppies, little sad puppies, looking down, shit. Like they gave me really bad food, all these processed stuff. What am I gonna do with this? But then here comes Messi. They changed the food diet for the puppies, and now they're blossoming. Great coding. They're ready for for a show, right? Kramaski, the new kids that came in, Farias, also all those guys are playing at a great level. Kamal Miller, all of a sudden he's like, shutting people down. Like he's playing like he used to be back in Orlando. So honestly, like we need to definitely beat them collectively, not worry about one person. If we're gonna start, if the fandom thinks that Messi's not playing, well, we got this under the bag. Yes, we should because we're the better team, mano a mano, man to man. We're the better team, but they are mentally on a high, and mind overpower, right? Overpowers body sometimes. It makes you have that extra push. Kramaski is being scouted by the UN's men's and also Argentina now because of Messi. They're fighting over this kid. Isn't that doesn't that motivate a kid to come out beating his chest at Exploria? I think so. We'll see. I think we need to be very careful with Inter Miami. What are your thoughts regarding that, John? This is a good question by Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. It's Orlando versus Miami. It's not Orlando versus Messi. So whether he plays or not, regardless, they have more assets than when we last played them. Like you talked about, Farias has come in, and he's definitely a hot young Argentinian forward. So they've got good talent in there. Taylor's still scoring goals like he was when we last played them. Kramaski, Noah Allen. Like there's a lot of guys in this team, not just Messi. Obviously, Busquets and Alba now are a full part of it. It's going to be a tough game regardless, and they're on a high because they just keep winning. Well, they did lose. Well, they did lose without Messi against Atlanta, but that is the only game they've lost since his arrival. So they are doing very well. But that doesn't mean we can't win. I don't see any reason that we can't get the win. We are the better team on paper, and I believe that we will win, Messi or no Messi. I think that as long as the game is called fairly, Luis, and that's last time we didn't actually get to see a fair game, in my opinion. I think a lot of people's opinion, and
Yeah,
therefore,
it was bad.
therefore it was like, okay, we don't actually know who's the better team because it wasn't called fair. This time, hopefully, it is called fair, and we can get a good derby game, and hopefully we come out on top with like a 3-2 win or something that's a thriller, just like the 4-3 against Columbus, because we love that, and I think it's going to be hard to stop them from scoring, so we're going to have to make sure we outscore them.
So Orlando City clinched playoffs, and with the loss, despite the loss, And obviously, I will have to say, and I did mention at the beginning of the show, this is a combination of many things, right? Players, um, the staff that is in every training, and Oscar's staff, and Oscar trickles down to Ricardo Moreira, Luis Musi, all the players that have come, and also some of the players that have gone that have been part of Orlando City, like Ergen Carr as well. He scored a couple important goals. Junior Urso that left and came back, right? So Benji Michel, at some point, Chris, well, I don't know if Chris Mueller had just like, well, no, not really. But no, but we have you ever? I don't think I've ever experienced Orlando winning and clinching, number one, so early, and number two, that high in the standings.
No, right?
Right? It's the
Quite
first
plainly,
time.
no. It's never happened this early. It's always been, are we gonna make it like
Right,
decision day
six,
stuff,
six, right, right. Decision
now
day.
we're, and that's a lot of people's, uh, you know, the thing to focus on after yesterday for the positive was, yeah, bad game, bad result, but hey, we're in the playoffs, and we're in the playoffs way before we ever have been before. And we've now got what is it, 6 games, 7 games? How many games remaining, Luis? I forget. I want to say 6 games remaining, and we're in the playoffs already. So I think as long as we keep it up where we're able to finish in the top four and we get the 2 home playoff games as the advantage in the first round, then I'm really happy. And like we talked about before, is there danger of coming first and having to play into Miami if they sneak into the playoffs? So maybe second is where we just want to be, right? Maybe that's what we want to aim for and maintain. I think chasing Cincy is too hard. I think,
Yeah,
especially after this loss, is now,
yeah,
it went from being a dream to now being almost an impossible dream. So let's try and keep second. I think that's what we should be aiming for, and let's just try and win all of our home games. I think if we do that, that'll be enough. That'll be 4 home games left. That's 12 points. That's plenty out of these 6 games. So we'll see what happens.
So again, there's conflictive news about Messi's injury. So we'll see.
I mean, I think coming off at the 39th minute
Yeah.
against Toronto, to me, says I'm resting myself because I want to play some games in Orlando, some minutes in Orlando, and then also, a full 90 in the Open Cup. So
No,
maybe they're worried about going to extra time in the Open Cup.
no, I agree. I mean, they're playing against Cincinnati, one of the best teams in the East. So, um, if you are, the club hasn't done this in a long time, but if you are around, there's a player appearance plus ticket giveaway for Orlando versus Miami at 9:24. Facu Torres and Felipe Martins will be there. Tomorrow, the 22nd, at between 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern at the AT&T store in Conroy Road in Orlando, 4006 Conroy Road in Orlando, Florida. You can meet Facu, you can meet Felipe, you can get some pictures, I'm sure. I don't know if Kingston's gonna be there, but probably. Is when's the last time they did this? They did this when you were, right, John? The last
Well,
time.
I mean, a lot of MLS guys have, stipulations in their contracts that they need to do a certain amount of appearances and things. It just depends what it is and who's doing it. It also depends who's running the club. Under the Brazilian ownership for a long time, it was, they weren't allowing access to players for things like this. And now, so maybe under the Wilps, we're starting to see it open up again, and more player appearances and more opportunities for people to get signatures and meet their favorite player, take photos, et cetera, which I always think is a key part of developing those relationships. It's so special to a young fan to be able to meet their favorite player and get a picture. I mean, I did it with Dagger Dan, and I'm a full grown man, so there you go. Even at the age of 32, I still want to meet my players and get a signature from them. So I think building that connection is great, and it's awesome to see. So I encourage people to go out, especially if you're Felipe is such a nice guy. I think just go out and say hi to him and get his signature and factors as well.
So Sunrail's running for the Orlando City Inter game. You know, people that live in DeBary, from Poinciana, they'll be able to ride the Sunrail. It is available. We got that picture with Kingston there at the Sunrail station.
Yeah, the problem with
Right.
this is, Louise, there's
Okay.
no mention of when the trains after the game run back. So I will not
Imagine.
hide the fact that Florida transportation
Yeah.
is terrible public transportation, and the Sunrail doesn't run on a weekend. Yeah, crazy anyway. But they're making special effort to open it for us, which is really nice. If you just want to get to the game and not get back from the game.
Now,
I
I
think people are
know.
worried about Uber surge charges. I know all the parking lots are. Somebody told me one of the parking lots right by the stadium is charging $100 to park, and they think
Oh,
they're going
are
to
you
get that.
serious?
They're going to be disappointed if Messi doesn't come and they don't get their $100 parking,
No,
huh?
I have to find parking for a photographer.
Yeah, I would definitely say this is like they're all the lots around are upping their prices based on the idea that Messi's going to come. So, is that like the Ticketmaster? Is that going to go down now again? Are these
Yeah.
parking guys going to realize that Messi's not there and ask for less money? I think Uber is going to be a problem as well because, as we mentioned on this pod before, there's the concert at the Amway for I forget a famous Latin
Becky G.
artist. No, I
Yeah,
thought it
Becky
was
G, right?
oh, I thought it was a Latino artist. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it was Becky G, right? Becky G, isn't she
So
from
I don't
Colombia?
know. I don't know.
You're like, I
I
don't
thought
know.
Becky G does not sound Colombian to me, but there you go. What do I
Yeah.
know? So there's supposed to be a lot of things happening around the stadium. I think Uber is going to be expensive, so they're adding in, rail, which is great, but I can't take it after the game, so that's not helpful.
So there is the Orlando City, the Iron Lion Farm, which is the supporter group, is doing a preview event at 7:30, September 24th, at Elixir in Orlando. Where's Elixir at? You can Google it,
Elixir,
or
that's
you
downtown. Yeah,
exactly, it's downtown. I know it's
yeah,
in on Washington Street. It's really
yeah.
close by.
Hmm.
And then you can enjoy, and they're gonna have their merch, ILF merch, and all that good stuff. You'll be able to check out as well. The club came out with this new shirt. Florida is purple, right?
Wow, but it's
Right.
black though.
Yeah, with a purple paw in the back.
Oh, standing on feathers. That's
It's
pretty
then,
cool.
yeah,
On the flamingo feathers.
right.
I do
From the,
like it, but I think
yeah,
everybody should be wearing purple.
exactly.
I think if you wear black on Sunday, their second jersey is black. Like their logo is black. So I think some people were calling, especially I think it was the ILF were calling out, don't wear black.
Yeah. So
Wear purple. Like people were calling in the wall to wear purple.
there's a game day patch. That's the game day patch
That's
for.
pretty cool. That is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I like that game day patch.
Yeah.
And then you also got a new scarf that comes with it. You can get all of that and more and spend another $150 right there. Florida's purple scarf right there.
That's
Cool.
pretty cool. I like
That's
that one.
pretty cool. I like that one, especially if it's not that thin. It's not a thin
Yeah.
scarf, right? It's a real scarf.
Uh, I'd have to look at one to tell you. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's probably a thin scarf. They don't really sell the full knit ones. It's too hot.
But anyways, honestly, this is gonna be a really good game. We're definitely excited for Orlando clinching playoffs so early. Obviously, a lot of people from NYCFC. I do want to say I want to thank New York City Football Club for doing a little article on the pod, and being recognized as one of the leading voices of here this humble podcast that y'all enjoy. Thank you so much to NYCFC. And definitely, they were very surprised about the win. They thought I got a lot of texts from a lot of colleagues.
I bet.
I don't know if you remember Jose, that he was
Yeah.
here.
It came on the pod.
He came on the pod. He's like, "Hey, I think you guys are gonna put the nail in our coffins now." And I was like, "Hey, don't be. You can't just throw the game away like that, man. You got to be more positive, and then look at that. I'm
There you
just
go.
trying to be nice, and
It's annoying because we were probably due to slip up at some point. It's
yeah,
annoying that we have to slip up against New York because I really, they're just that team that we seem to get these losses against that just extra hurt. And also the baseball stadium, got no respect for them.
yeah. And then honestly, fourth straight MLS club playoffs appearance for Orlando City. Right, and that's amazing. I remember the
All
first time
four of
Orlando
Oscar's years.
qualified. Yeah, I remember first time they made the playoffs. I was like, man, I'm not a season pass holder. Come on, man. I stopped being a season pass member the wrong year. But anyways, definitely exciting. It's gonna be a fantastic game. We're definitely gonna have the coverage. We're gonna be there, even if Messi is there or not. We're gonna be there with all the inside info. Let's stick around to our social media accounts. Anything else you want to add before we go, John?
Well, two things. One, do you want to do the lineup really quick,
Oh
or
yeah, yeah. I
and
forgot
then,
about that. Oh,
um,
sorry. Yeah, I had it
and then
ready.
also I wanna touch on the wall and the jerseys before we go.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll touch on that. All right. So let's do the lineups. You see, something else forgetting. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're
So
good.
Galese, obviously. I mean, no poop on no party. Will you
Are
stay
we?
with Dagger?
I think we will. I
Yeah,
think I think you
I
can't
think we
really
will too.
blame one person particularly for last game, right? I think Dagger didn't have the best game, but nobody else did either. So if I'm thinking I'm Oscar, I don't think it's time to bring Mikey back in yet.
No, no, no. And neither Luca.
Yeah, and
Brother.
I think it's gonna be Schlegel because Antonio is
Yeah,
still
still out.
AFK.
Yeah,
He's nowhere to be found right
we
now.
don't, we
So
don't, we don't know. Yeah, hopefully,
we really
uh,
need him back soon, or
or
we
at
need
least, I
to do
mean, at
something.
least in the next couple games, just try Abdi. Abdi Salim or
Yeah, I mean,
Kibugunchi.
yeah,
Keep
I
time.
mean, I think what annoys me, Luis, is if you'd brought them in earlier in the season and given them more minutes, now you would have the option of
Exactly.
Rodri or them, but we haven't done that. Like he's put all his eggs in Schlegel being the backup, and
That's
it's
it.
not working right now,
It's
sadly.
because he's a presence in the locker room too. Sometimes you have to
I
protect.
get it. I see his passion.
There's some coaches that protect that stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I think he's a
But
wonderful individual. I just think it's such an integral position,
right.
and his mistakes are just very obvious.
If you would have, if Pedro would have, if Pedro saved that penalty in that play against Bakar, I guarantee you, Abdi would have kicked the ball. He would have like stretched and kicked the ball, or he would have,
I was
right?
wondering, like, did he run before the whistle, right? Because I was like, how did he get there so quickly? Where
No,
were our guys?
he just
And
walked in.
they are just all ball watching. They
Like,
weren't
hey
they
guys,
weren't they weren't doing what you should be doing, is running
exactly.
it as quickly as possible to clear the ball for the
So
rebound.
sometimes youth and stamina, and unfortunately, um, just that you know just being a little bit more sound will make a hell of a difference. All
Yeah.
right, so we got our back four right here, and then we're gonna do the double pivot again. I don't think we're moving out of that. So
No.
would you say Cesar and
Yep.
Wilder, right?
Cesar and Wilder.
Yep, and they gotta be in their top form, man. If not,
Yeah. I think
and then
Wilder
right
will have
right
more
in the
games
mid,
for him.
would you keep Maori?
I think he'll keep Maori. Yep. I think he will. I think,
Yeah.
like I said, Noah, it's hard to,
No, I think the number
blame
guy may be
anyone
there.
in particular from last game. I think Enrique could be dropped. I could see that. I think Enrique will be dropped for Duncan.
You think we're gonna see the comeback of the Helen of the Heartland?
I think it could happen.
Yeah, I
The
I do
problem is
agree.
Enrique is a great player, but he's not a true nine striker. And Rafa Santos's crosses that he was throwing in are
At Duncan
pointless. They're pointless if Enrique's in
without
there.
Enrique.
You need someone attacking those balls, and none of our guys are going to do that unless you're Duncan or Jacqueline, right? So And I think
I'm
also,
down. I'm
I
down
think
with this
Enrique's
lineup.
better off the left wing. Like I think Enrique coming off the bench as a left wing sub for Ivan makes so much more of an impact than starting. Let Duncan start, let Duncan run and press them and tire himself out, and then bring Jacqueline on or Enrique up front. But I think Enrique is much better on the left wing.
I am down with this lineup. Galese right in the back. Dagerdan, Rodri, Jensen, Santos.
Yeah,
You got Cesar Araujo, Willie Cartagena right in the mid. Then you got as your 10, Mauricio Pereira. Left wing, Ivan Angulo. Right wing, Facundo Torres. And right up top, Duncan Maguire, the Hound of the Heartland.
the only thing I would say it's just a shame that Ojeda is still not in this lineup, right? Like the guy's got so many assists, and we
He's
can't find a
better.
way to
He's
put him in the
better.
lineup.
He's better off the bench, and I believe that in that pitch he was non-existent. You got to understand,
Yeah.
11 shots Orlando had, and only 2 were on target.
We just yeah.
Like there was no
It's
point.
a game that I want to forget quickly, Luis. Let's just put
Correct.
it that way.
I agree. I agree. So, talking about, I just want to ask you a question, John. Can I go
Yeah.
with my Barcelona jersey into the
No,
supporter section?
you cannot. And this is not me telling you this. This
Oh
is
my
the
God!
club. This is the
Why?
club saying this.
It's ridiculous,
The
man.
official rules is only so in the supporter section, only Orlando City or purple or Orlando City supporter gear. You know, you can wear your ILF, your Ruckus. You just wear like a plain white T-shirt. You can wear a plain black T-shirt.
Can you wear
You
a
wear
hat, Orlando
yeah.
hat,
You can wear a
and plain
non-sports
plain
hat. You can wear a
plain
hat for a
shirt?
hockey team. That wouldn't matter. You just can't wear anything that relates to Miami or Messi or Argentina or PSG or Barcelona or any other thing
Or
that
Chelsea
has
or
to do with
anything?
them. Yeah, I mean, I like we said last game, Luis. We saw some Messi
Yes,
jerseys in
it's
the
true. It's
wall.
true.
Um, I've asked several staff members of Orlando City, is this something they're working on? I've been told it is. I know that
Yes.
they're aware of it.
Yeah.
I
Same here.
hope that they're going to be instructing the security team to do their jobs to look out for this, because we're going to have the Messi jerseys whether he's there or not. They're going to
Not
be
only
all
that,
over the stadium, just not in the wall.
beers flow.
Yep.
You're with
Yeah.
your girlfriend. You don't know the rules. You go there. Then you have a unicorn tell you, "Hey, a purple. You can't wear that jersey. Who the hell are you, man?" You know, blah, blah, blah. And then here you go, right? The
Yeah.
fights.
Well, that's what
Guys,
I would
let's
say to
let's not
our
be
fans
aggressive,
too, is
right?
don't
Let's
it's
just
not your job to
right,
kick them out. Go
right.
find the security
Security,
staff and
right,
like
right.
tell them for sure, because I'd rather they weren't in the wall as well. Like I've done that before, so go inform a security member like, hey, this guy's up there, he's wearing, he shouldn't be in here. They should know. If they don't know, then I'm going to be as frustrated as you are. So
When keeping it real
um
goes wrong, you don't want to do that.
yeah, I think the thing is, remember what happened with the Tigres game, and people were
Exactly.
pissed, and the club was like, "This is not good. We're going to do better." This is an opportunity for them to do better. So I hope they do. I'm going to be really disappointed if come Sunday they have not made the effort needed to enforce their own rules. But I'm hoping that they will.
No, well, I was told in a way. I did speak to some people. They're gonna have security instruct, but again,
I mean,
uh,
but it's not the security is not the best
right,
security. Let's be
right,
honest. There are people who have been
right,
hired for $15 an hour. They're not security professionals.
correct.
So you get what you get. I think we need to self police ourselves, and also I don't we don't want to be accused of anything, and I don't think
Or
we
we
should
don't want to
give
be like
don't give
overly aggressive
Miami
either.
yeah, don't give Miami any fuel to go and say, "Oh, these Orlando
Correct.
fans are aggressive," right? Like they come to our
Right.
stadium and rip chairs out of the seats, or do whatever else they want to do. These crazy fans, and we're always calm. Let's remain that way. I don't want us getting into any sort of
Yeah,
problems
because
with
they
the
can
Miami
find. I
fans.
mean, they can find the stadium.
Yeah, and
They
people
can
you
find the
could be kicked
club.
out and
You
never
could be
come to
kicked
another
out and
Orlando
never
City
come
game.
back.
Yeah, 100%. So if you fight somebody,
Yeah.
you might think it's worth it, but then you never get to come back for another season or two, right? You get a
Exactly.
ban.
Imagine
So
that.
you ask
Imagine
some
that.
of the faithful from the ILF and the Ruckus that have had that situation happen to them, they'll probably tell you it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get to see your club anymore if you do that. So
Exactly.
I think
Yeah,
everyone be calm, be respectful, and let's just hope that we get this win and send them back down to Florida with their stupid flamingo heads up their butts. How about that?
All right. Woo. Well, I want to thank everyone that watched today. Thank you so much for this surprise episode for LPO. Thank you to John and vamos Orlando. Let's win 3 points coming up on Sunday. See you guys. See you guys on Monday. Have a good one.